Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. My name is Jason. I'm the owner of Outdoor Legacy. We specialize in all kinds of night vision and thermal optics for hog and coyote hunters and anybody getting out there in the night. And this show is where you come to get all of the latest, greatest breaking news on night vision and thermal optics. As always, I've got my co-host, Hans from the Hans East Texas YouTube channel here with me tonight. What's going on, Hans?
Man, this is my favorite time of year. This is like the Grammy Awards of music. This is like the Oscar Awards. This is the ESPY Awards for ESPN Sports. You know, we have our best of series, and if this is your first time, if you were searching on the internet, if you were searching on YouTube and you came across this show because you're looking for an optic, and you're tuning in right now, thank you for joining us. If you're a new watcher, a new listener, and you watched because of this show, we appreciate it. We've been doing this show now, as you probably saw, this is our 237th episode, and we've been doing this for many years now. We are going to be talking about anything, and what you can expect from here in this show is anything hog hunting related, predator hunting, anything at night that you want to shoot with a thermal or night vision optic that's legal and not using any illegal means. We talk about it here, so thank you for joining us. Give us a like or subscribe, and please tune in again. We've got many more of our best of shows, and this is the very first one, Jason. And usually this is the show, the entry-level thermal scope that gets the biggest amount of views, the biggest amount of attention, and it is a crowded field this year, very crowded, probably more than ever.
So this is, as Hans just alluded to, this show is the best entry-level thermal rifle scope show. This is where we're going to pick our two favorites. We're going to go through the list of these here in a second, and we'll kind of explain our picks and how these picks are made and what this means for you. So guys, listen in. This is going to be an interesting show. I think we're going to give you just a little bit of info on each of these optics. If you're looking for a full review of any of these scopes, we've probably got a review of almost all of them on this list. Looking back, I think we do, but just in case we've missed one, there might be one out there we've missed, but we've probably got a review on this channel. If not this channel, you can go check out Hans's channel over at YouTube. Again, that's HANSETX, Hans East Texas. And he's got a review of a lot of these as well, usually a lot of hunting footage, that sort of thing that you may want to check out. Before we start, real quick, we'll tell you about this again towards the end. But if you're looking for a night vision or a thermal optic and you just don't know where to start, or maybe you know where to start, maybe you already own one, you're looking for a second one, maybe you're looking to upgrade, but you need help. You want to make sure you make the right choice. Hans and I are glad to help you. You can call us at Outdoor Legacy, 877-350-1818. Again, it's 877-350-1818. This is what we do for a living. We use, we test, we hunt with, we review, and we sell thermal and night vision rifle scopes. And we would love to have your business. We would love to help you figure out which optic is right for you. So again, this is the entry-level show. Without further ado, Hans, give them the list of contenders.
Yeah, I kind of wish we were doing this in person. I might have to, like, if you said something that made me mad or upset me, I could pull a Will Smith and walk over to you and just smack the you-know-what out of you. But that's what I feel
I'm
like
glad I'm glad we're in two different locations.
That's what award shows have come down to. But, Jason, this is going to be the first time this year that we actually show the awards, I think, right? I don't think we've ever shown them.
I've got the awards here.
Yeah.
That's right. No, we have not.
I made Jason go dig them out of the box. So people actually know that these companies really do get an award. It's just not in name.
These are legit. They weigh about 5 pounds a piece. Very expensive, very nice awards.
Yes.
We normally award them, give them to the manufacturers. Normally in person at the SHOT Show in January, but we're going to actually hold them up so you can see what they look like and get an idea of that.
Yeah. So, and like you said, they are not cheap. If you want to buy awards, they are not cheap.
No, these are nice.
All right, I've got a list. This is my list of contenders right here, thanks to Jason doing his studious job of getting all this prepared for us. So I'm going to run this down in order of price. We're just going to go through this pretty quickly, and then Jason and I will jump back to it in more detail. But running through the list of contenders for the under $3,000, which is considered entry level. And I know we say people are like, entry level, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but with thermal and quality thermal, really it starts in that $2,000 range and goes up to $3,000, considering that being the category of best entry level. So the first one, the AGM Rattler TS25-384. Now, all the scopes that I list, some common specs about them, they're all 384 resolution. They all have video recording and Wi-Fi. They're, like I said, 384 resolution by 288. Anything else, Jason, that common specs?
No, every one of them. Yeah, you said 384 by 288 resolution, which is a standard resolution. Yeah, video, Wi-Fi. I mean, there's probably some other specs that they all include, but those are the big things people ask about, and everyone has that.
So the AGM Rattler TS25-384, that's a 1.5 power base magnification. I'm just going to list the base magnification, 1.5 power. Price on that is $1,995. That is our first contender. The second one, the Bering Hogster Vibe 25. We'll talk a little bit about the Vibes here in a minute, but the Vibe 25, that's a 1.4 power base magnification. The price on that's $2,295. We've got the AGM Rattler TS35-384. That's a 2.2 power. Price on that's $2,495. Then we got the AGM Rattler TS35-384. That's a 3X or 3 power base magnification thermal scope. The price on that's $2,495. Pulsar has a scope now in the entry level division, the Pulsar Talion XQ38, which is a 2.5 power base magnification at $2,499. The Bering Optics Hogster Vibe 35 is a 2 power base magnification. Price on that's $2,595. And then rounding it out, the last contender, the AGM Adder TS50-384. That is a 4 power base magnification. Price on that is $2,995. Jason, you tried to trip me up here, because on this one you have the Adder TS50 listed at 3X. I feel like that was a trap. And I think
you caught it.
I caught it. You have you got to watch Jason, man. He tries to throw these traps in here to get me in trouble.
Well, exactly. Well, the self-proclaimed executive producer over there, I've got to see if he's on his toes. Yeah. No, I'm glad you caught that. And I'll be honest, I was going down my list here, looking down the whole time, reading to follow along, see if you made any mistakes. And I think you did. You did good. You even stepped out of the trap. Guys, real quick, we're gonna jump in here because we want to make this quick as possible. I do want to bring up a couple disclaimers. Number one, we are calling this entry level. I know there's going to be somebody out there who's going to leave a comment. They're going to say, hey, what about some of these scopes that are in the lower resolution, the 256 resolution is where most of these are. There's some AGM Rattlers. There's some Bering Optic scopes. Again, this 256 lower resolution. Guys, we'll just be honest. We consider that sub-entry level. We consider that below entry level. They're just, again, there's a place for those optics. We just don't think that they fit into entry level. We don't think that they give you the value for the dollar, the shooting range, the positive identification range. So again, it's a value thing. We think this is where entry level thermal starts. We think some of those other scopes, you might be better off with a less expensive night vision scope. You might actually get more bang for the buck and spend half as much with the night vision scope. So that's kind of why that's again our personal opinion. You may have a different opinion, but that's why they're not included. Another thing, I know this is going to get brought up, and it should. Right now, the Infrared Bolt TL35 by iRay USA, that optic is $26.99. So you go, wait a minute, why is that not in this list? The Bolt TL35 is a fantastic scope, but it has been a $32.99, so $3,300 scope since it was first released. And right now, there is a promo. There is a sale going on that. We don't know exactly how long that sale is going to last. We know it's a fall promo. It's a really good deal, but we don't think it's fair to put a scope that's on sale right now into this group of scopes that, you know what I'm getting at? I mean, it's
No,
just,
you're right.
It's not a price drop as much. They're calling it a sale. So
Yeah.
if they said, hey, the new price forever is this, then I'd say, well, okay, we've got to stick it in here, but we don't know. That price could go back up at the end of the year.
Yeah, and the contenders should be based on what the price was when it hit the market, basically, in our opinion. So I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, that's where it is right now. I just wanted to mention that is a great scope. We will be putting the bolt in the contenders for the thermal scopes under $4,000, which is where it's been. I understand, guys, you're going to say it's not fair. It's there. It's a sale. So we're going to leave it there.
Right.
But with that said, now I'm going to give you our disclaimer. And if you watch all of our best of shows, you're going to hear this disclaimer every time, because we know some people are going to tune in. They're just going to watch one of these. They don't know what we're doing. And we want to be very, very clear before we jump into this. We are not saying that that our picks tonight, we're going to pick 2 scopes. We're not saying these are the best scopes, and we call it the best of. So we're not saying they're the best for you. They're the best for us.
Right.
And thermal scopes are tools. And a lot of people don't like to think of them like this. They like to think, that people say, what's the best scope under X dollars? And I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing with it? How far are you shooting? What features do you need? Are you shooting on a bolt gun? Are you shooting on an AR-15? How cold a weather are you in? What's the terrain like? How far can you see? What's your ID range? I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, and it does make it confusing, but that's what we're here for, to try to help you, narrow that down. So these are our favorites. They're the best for Hans and I, but it doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination that it's the best for you. I mean, literally, there's a lot of guys who are going to say, well, wait a minute, I called and talked to him about these scopes, and they recommended something totally different. That's exactly right. We recommended what we believe is the best for your situation. So again, I just want to point that out. I will say, if you say, well, what is your situation? Hans and I have got varied hunting situations. We can be in the woods. We can be in a small opening, a food plot or a log set, or, just a small field. We can be in big, wide open fields. Hans does a lot of coyote hunting, a lot more than I do. I do, Hans used to do a bunch of it. He's killed them all, but I do a lot of spot and stalk hog hunting. So I get really, really, really close. And I probably do, more of that. So I tend a little bit towards the lower magnification than Hans does. And again, so we each have our own situation, and his is unique because he's doing a lot of both. So anyway, for whatever, again, you can't just say I'm in East Texas, so this is what I need. Yeah. Everybody's place could be different. So with that disclaimer, I want to roll into this. And Hans, I'm going to tell you something. Right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scopes on this list. We've already said every one of them has video recording. Every one of them has a smartphone app, for Wi-Fi streaming. Every one of them has a very good image quality. They all have different color palettes, reticle options, zeroing on multiple rifles. These things will do a lot. Yeah. And there's just this is a crowded category that used to have 1, 2 scopes in it. Yeah. Now there's 7, and I can tell you right now, there's not one of the 7 that you couldn't end up with and do really well. They're all really good scopes.
Oh yeah, I would take any one of these scopes in this list, and if somebody said, I'm going to get the AGM Rattler TS25 384, which is the least expensive, and it fits their application, I would say you're going to love it. So all of these are fantastic scopes, great picture images. Let's run down just real quick the contenders and a little bit about them. You got the AGM Rattlers, both of them, the TS25 384 and the TS35 384. Jason, these have been on the market for quite a while. They've been a big seller in the industry for a long time. Just a rock solid scope. and it's been that way for a long time. You know, and Jason, I know that you hear this a lot, but what a lot of people like about the Rattlers and a big draw to them isn't just the fact that it has video recording. That's part of it, but I think it's because of the fact that it comes with the American Defense Manufacturing locking quick release mount. And a lot of people that buy these Rattlers, whether it's the 1.5 power TS25 or the 2.2 power Rattler TS35, they like to use this as something that they can take on and off the rifle to use as a monocular or as a buddy scope that they can use as a monocular. And if somebody's tagging along, they can throw it on a rifle. But that has been a big draw for the Rattlers.
Definitely. And I think that just moving right along, their direct competitors are going to be the Bearing Optics Hogster Vibe 25 and 35. And if you look, I mean, these scopes are obviously direct competitors. They're both 25s and 35 millimeter lenses. We've got a 1.5 power and a 1.4 power, a 2 and a 2 point. I mean, you know, the prices, it's all tit for tat.
Yep.
And the Hogster Vibes, if you're not familiar, these are just the newer version of the original Bearing Optics Hogster R 25 and 35. And really, in a nutshell, the Vibes have video recording and the Wi-Fi built into them. I mean, that's really what you're getting there. And so very, very similar. I always tell people the Vibes and the Rattlers look like twins separated at birth. I mean, the scopes are very, very similar. If I took both these scopes and scratched the brand name off, put them in a bag and shook them up and pulled them out, and you didn't know much about them, you probably wouldn't know. I mean, they are different, but definitely they are. But I'm just saying the design, the size, the weight, very, very similar. Very popular optics. One of the big draws, I think, to the Vibes is that Bearing has a 4-year warranty, where all the other contenders right now on this list are a 3-year warranty. And so I think that's been a big draw.
So AGM not only has two good contenders with the Rattler, they've got 2 more. They have 4 contenders in the best entry-level scope category. That is with the Adder TS35-384 and TS50-384. This is the only, I would say, tube style or I don't want to say traditional style, but tube style thermal scope on the list.
Daytime scope style, yeah.
And for all of you guys that are the appeal for this scope is the fact that these are higher magnification, the highest magnification options in this category at 3x base magnification and 4x base magnification respectively for both. They also come with an American Defense Manufacturing mount, perfect for shooting on a bolt action rifle or on an AR style rifle. Again, so when these things came out onto the market, towards the end, I'd say towards the end of 2022, but in the third quarter, it was a big draw because nobody else had. Well, I don't want to say nobody, but there was not a just clear-cut coyote hunting thermal scope in the under $3,000 class or category until these scopes came on the market, and they have sold like crazy out there. So those two are again big contenders in this category, and there's 4 options for AGM products. That's crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy. And, AGM did a couple things there besides just the 30 millimeter tube based design. They also brought audio recording along. And like you said, the higher base magnification that really did allow those coyote hunters to now have something that really meets their needs better in this category. Another optic we've got here that I think is a little bit of a crossover. This is the Pulsar Talion XQ38. It's a 2.5 power, so it's kind of bridging that gap a little bit. I like 2.5 power. I think it's a good place to be for a lot of people. I get a lot of guys that are like, 3 power might be a little much. 2 power might be a little low. And I go, we got one for you. I mean, this is it. To split it up the middle with the Talion. This scope, again, small package, lightweight. I tell you, this scope's got something that nothing else in this price category has or has ever had, and that is it has a fully removable rechargeable battery pack. So it uses an APS-5 battery, which is a proprietary, $80 battery from Pulsar. Very long battery life. When you need to charge it up, flip open the little case or cover, pull the battery out, stick another one in if you want, charge that one. I mean, it's people really, really, really like removable rechargeable batteries. And so that's a big draw for it. I mean, and I don't even want to talk about the image quality because all these scopes have good image quality. So I don't think that's the deciding factor between these really. But the Talion, this has audio as well with the video recording. A lot of really nice features, very simple and easy to use. So again, just a great scope and a big contender. But Hans, we've told them a little bit about these scopes. Let's just go ahead and tell them what the favorites are.
Yeah, it is time for our selections. This is Jason and I's favorite optics. And right when I'm doing this, my computer screen goes off. I'm like, oh man,
he doesn't even know. Do I need to say? Because
it's my notes for the rest of the show. No, okay, our two favorites, and we have. I don't want to leave out. We have an honorable mention too. So two favorites.
Okay. And I'm gonna hold up the awards while you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one, I didn't tell you which one I was going to announce first, so you're gonna have to just kind of wing it. The first winner of the best scope in that entry-level category. I don't know why I'm tripping over that. Under $3,000 is the first winner is the Pulsar Talion XQ38. I feel like we need applause. I'm going to have to get an applause line to put in here. Our second winner, our second favorite, and rounding out the top, our two top choices in this category is the AGM Adder TS35-384 with the honorable mention going to the Bearing Optics Hogster Vibe 35. So it is, there you go, y'all. We've got the Pulsar Talion as a winner. We got the AGM Adder TS35 as a winner, and the honorable mention going to the Bearing Optics Hogster 35 Vibe. That is...
I was just trying to not drop those things. They're extremely heavy, and I had light bouncing back on them. It was a mess. That may be a bad idea.
I want to talk a little bit about why we chose... and I'll let you round out your discussion on why you chose it. The Pulsar Talion, Jason, I think you mentioned some of the qualities about that scope. It's the only scope in that price range with a fully removable, rechargeable battery. It's got an interesting design. A lot of people say it kind of looks like a flashlight. I don't disagree with them. But the picture image on it is fantastic. The great thing is the Pulsar scopes are very easy to use. They're user-friendly. A very smooth interface as far as maneuvering through the menu and choosing the options and all that. I mean, a lot of people use Pulsar products that feel like themselves are technically challenged or technology challenged, and they get these scopes and don't have a problem with them at all. It's a European-made optic. The fit and finish of the Pulsar stuff is just very nice. You can just very high quality. Picture image is great. They have features that some of those scopes don't have. They've got more color palettes to choose from, more reticle options, more reticle colors, and that Talion, even though it is considered an entry-level thermal scope for Pulsar, they didn't strip it down and just do some of the features. That scope has all the same features, meaning the menu internally and what it looks like, and video and audio recording and all that stuff. It's the same as any other scope that you buy at the higher price levels as far as the features through the scope. So that's my reason why the Pulsar is one of my favorites, one of my two favorites. And, that being also, it's a 2.5 power. So hog hunter, coyote hunter, it's got, at that magnification level, you've got a lot of uses for it. And it's just an awesome scope. It was a late contender into the Challenger contest or whatever you want to call it. And I'll tell you, they sold out quick, and they are, they're coming back in, and they're hard to get. You're watching this in the middle of November in 2022. If you're looking for one, check with us. But here lately, it's been tough. Our second winner.
Here, I'll talk about this one real quick.
Yeah.
Just I want to jump in on it because you took my tally on, because that was really more fits me better than you probably. But no, I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah, I will jump in real quick on this adder, and I'll let you round out what you think on it, because honestly, it does fit you better than me. But I think the reason that I liked this optic and I wanted to choose it as well is because if I am doing coyote hunting, I like to have a little more magnification. And so, I admit this, Hans and I are blessed in the situation of we can pick the scope up that night to go do what we need to do. So I do like having that 3 power for a little bit longer shooting. I think we chose it over the TS50 because the 4 power for us is probably just a little more than we need. And again, some guys shooting longer range out there all the time might like that. But I think the 3 power, again, it's a nice little boost, but it's not too much. I think the fact that you're getting the long internal battery life on the adder, you're getting the video recording. It comes with the $200 American Defense Manufacturing recon mount that we have loved, that we have sold, that we have advocated for all of these, again, 30 millimeter tube type scopes. We love this mount, and the fact that AGM is including it. Again, it is legitimately a $200 mount. We sell them all day long for other scopes, and it's in the box. I think that makes it a strong contender in this race. You've got to look at the value for the dollar, and Hans already brought this up. It's bringing something that nothing else is for the coyote hunter or the guy that's shooting a little bit longer range. I mean, this is where you're going to get the 3 power. And again, this is also a lot of the coyote hunters, predator hunters, are the guys that are often using bolt action or some sort of fixed stock rifle, unlike an AR. And you're asking, why does that matter? Well, these scopes, if you take something like an AGM Rattler or a Vibe, they're short. They're little bitty small scopes. And if you mount that on top of a fixed stock rifle, depending on how long your stock is and how big a guy you are and where you're comfortable, you may be too far back to get your eye where it needs to be, and you may have to try to rig something up with extension rails, and it can be difficult. These 30 millimeter tube scopes like the adders, you can use this ADM recon mount. You can actually turn it around, offset it back, but again, being as long as it is, it's easier to get that eye relief you need on a fixed stock rifle. Still works perfectly fine on an AR. So anyway, I guess I would just round that out and say, the magnification, it does have audio recording. It has, and I'm going to mention this. This is something we've talked about on other shows, but the adders also have a better image quality than the rattlers by a little bit because they've got an upgraded thermal sensor. So it's not just a high magnification rattler. It's a high magnification rattler with a little better image quality. Now, I'm going to say this is going back to the disclaimer. That doesn't mean that, well, then why would I ever spend $2,500 on a rattler, right? Because you just told me it's better image. That's less magnification. That may be better for what you're doing. It's a more compact scope. There's other benefits to that. So again, don't rely on just what we're picking here. This may not fit you, but those are our 2 choices, and
So
I think they're very, very good.
The best 2 choices that have been so far this, since we started this show. These are the best 2 scopes in the entry level that from the very beginning. The honorable mention, real quick before we end the show, the honorable mention went to the Bearing Optics Hogster 35 Vibe. Bearing Optics just improved upon a great scope by including video recording with Wi-Fi. The Bearing Optics stuff has a 4-year warranty. This scope is small in size. Again, you can take it on and off with the quick release mount. So fantastic scope, and kudos to Bearing Optics for making the Hogster even better by adding video recording. Some of you out there don't care about that, but there's a lot of people out there these days that want to record their hunts, and they, putting that feature on there and really not significantly raising the price on it. I think they changed the price by $20. So they did a good job doing that. But anyway, if you are looking to purchase an optic and we talked about a scope that you are interested in, one of the scopes on the list, call and talk to me or Jason. Find out why we picked these two. Find out why we didn't pick any of the others. But if you're interested in buying a scope, a night vision or thermal scope, call us at 877-350-1818. Also, you can find all of these optics on outdoorlegacygear.com. Jason, do you have anything to add before we
I don't
end the
have.
show?
You got it, man.
All right. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all give us a subscribe on YouTube. We're over 10,000 subscribers right now, rolling along. Thank you out there. All the views. The show we talk about all the time is growing like crazy. But thank you for listening on your way to work, on your way to your hunting trips with the family, making your spouses suffer through Jason and I's rambling at times. But if you love night hunting as much as we do, you can never get enough of it. So again, this is the place to come for night hunting, anything night hunting related, thermal or night vision optics. So give us a like or subscribe. Thanks for listening on the audio only versions, whatever app you might be listening on, Spotify or iTunes. You can find Jason over on Facebook at Outdoor Legacy. You can also find him on Instagram at Outdoor Legacy and YouTube, Outdoor Legacy Gear. You can find me on Instagram at HansETX or on YouTube at HansETX. And again, like Jason said, we have done reviews, I think, on every single one of these scopes you can find. And if you are looking for our past episodes, you can do so at thelatenightvision.show.com. It's got all 236 prior episodes listed there, and you can go back and watch them. And if you are trying to decide on what scope, a good resource is being able to check out this video and our shorter review videos that are on my YouTube channel. Jason.
All right, guys. So listen, this was the very first best of show for 2022. We're going to be doing best of for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. We're going to work our way through this. We're going to go all through the different price levels of thermal optics. We're going to go into, or thermal, I should say, it's thermal rifle scopes.
Right.
Then we're going to come back and we're going to have a best of for digital night vision. We're going to have a best of in the thermal handheld optics. So guys, there is something for everybody. You may be saying, listen, I'm not looking for entry level. I'm wanting to spend, $4,000 or $5,000 and would like to know what you all like. We're going to have that show. You're saying, I don't have thousands of dollars. I want a night vision scope that costs $500. We're going to have that show. So we're going to get all of these and we're going to cram them in. Every week we'll be having a new one. That is the plan. Right. So guys, we appreciate you watching this show. We hope to see you back here next week. But between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.